Well, hi, and thank you for joining me on this week's episode of Symington Says. I'm your host, Dawn Symington, and we are delighted to have Maggie Varney with me today from Wigs for Kids. She has been a tremendous blessing to so many ladies and so many young girls and a few boys, I believe, as well. And so we're going to hear more about her story and more about how she helps kids in our local community. Maggie, thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you, Dawn, for having us in.
So I wanted to give our viewers just a little bit of background on who you are and what you've done for our community. You have been you're founder and CEO of Wigs for Kids, and you've been in the industry for over 40 years. Is that right?
In the beauty industry, yes.
Wow, wow. And a beauty industry and as an entrepreneur for 25 years before moving into Wigs for Kids. So you were inducted into the Macomb County Hall of Fame.
I was.
And was honored the Art Van Hope Award. That's a very prestigious award for the work that you've accomplished for Wigs for Kids. And you're also president and owner of Go Green Salon. So apparently you're still CEO and business owner, right? So
Yes.
you have your nonprofit and your Go Green Salon.
Correct.
What does that mean, Go Green Salon?
Well, Go Green Salon is located inside of Wigs for Kids, so many of our children come there to donate their hair, and adults as well. And so we wanted to provide them with a salon environment, but we wanted it to be healthy. We wanted it to be an environment where our kids who are coming to us for services and our guests would be safe and nurtured in a healthy environment. So everything is green in there. We actually won an award for being the only green salon in the state of Michigan. Was recognized for that.
Wow.
So all the products that we use, from the products we use to the tile on the floor to the paint on the walls, everything is green.
So does that mean that you recycle everything? Does that mean that everything is environmentally safe? What is that?
Environmentally safe,
Okay.
exactly. And we have, because our children are ill, a lot of our children, 65% of our kids have cancer, so a lot of our children are ill. So each time we see a child, that room is disinfected. So we had to have materials used that we could clean properly.
Okay.
And so that we could see the next child without ever being concerned of germs or because their immune system is suppressed.
So Maggie, what got you started in Wigs for Kids? You were an entrepreneur, a business owner in the health industry. I'm sorry, in the salon world. And what transitioned you into this nonprofit?
Well, I have been so fortunate to be in the beauty industry for 40 years, and I happen to love what I do every day, and I'm really blessed. After 40 years, I still love it. And there's so many different aspects of our industry. And so I thought, after being an owner and having several salons and being an educator and a platform artist, I had done just about everything in my industry that I wanted to do. And I thought, now, what are you going to do with all this knowledge? You can take this and you can help and you can give back and you can serve others. And at the time, my minister was going through cancer, and I had helped him with his wig because it was televised, and he wanted to look consistent while he was going through his treatment. And unfortunately, when we lost him, then I thought, you know, there's so many other people out there that need this service. In the meantime, I was still running my own business, and I went and became certified and accredited to work with adult patients through a program called Look Good, Feel Better with the American Cancer Society. And then I started teaching at local cancer centers and hospitals, and that was my volunteer work that I did. Now, I still worked behind a chair and ran a salon and owned a salon, you know. And it was through that program, after working with my patients for about 15 years, that I had a 16-year-old girl come to my class. And I thought she was there with her mom, but it was really for her. And there was no program for children or teens at that time. And at the end of the class, when I asked, are there any questions, they said, she raised her hand and said, yeah, what do you do when you're a kid and you need a wig? So she was my spark plug. She was what ignited the whole Wigs for Kids program.
Wow. So this is a perfect segue into the Wigs for Kids program. Tell me about that program.
Well, I wasn't really aware that there was no place for these kids. I have adult patients, and I never really sold wigs. And they went down the street to a wig salon and they bought a wig. They would bring it to me and I would cut it and service it, because no matter, Dawn, what type of wig you get or wherever you get it, it has to be customized to the person, you know. And so they would bring them to me and I would do that at no charge, and that was my volunteer work, as I said. And whenever I checked into it, there was nothing for children. I had been sending hair to Locks of Love at that point.
Yes.
for about 10 years. Okay. And I said, let me call them and find out, you know, if they know of someplace locally where our kids can get help. And when I called them, they said, unfortunately, Maggie, there's really not any place. And I said, why is that? And they said, well, they're so labor intensive and they're cost prohibitive. And their little head size changes. You know, every year you'd have to provide a new wig, and to do a custom wig for a child would cost about $2,500. And there's no funding for a program like that. And I thought, well, okay, I own a salon. I'm certified and accredited to work with adult patients. I certainly can help a few kids, having no idea that there were so many children that need our help. And that's really how it started.
When did you start?
11 years ago. I had this little salon because I had sold my large salon because I was going to stop working so hard, you know. And I sold my large salon and I downsized, and I was thinking retirement someday, you know. And then I dedicated half my space, 600 square feet, half my space to Wigs for Kids, donated all my services, and paid for everything for the first 5 years of this organization. But it was like happening so fast because the word was getting out there, the hospitals were becoming aware of us, and the kids just started flocking to us. And so I started reaching out to the community. And I want to tell you, Dawn, the people that I had serviced for 15 years, my adult patients, when I had my first fundraiser, there were 600 of them lined around the building to support the children. Wow. Because they knew now I was working with kids. So that's really how we got started, the very people that I helped come back to help us.
I see. Well, we're going to take a minute and watch a video. It's 6 minutes, and it will give the overview for our viewers of Wigs for Kids, and then also the services that you provide to the children and to their families.
Oh, thank you. Great. What we provide are wigs and services for the children with hair loss. And we have expanded our programming since we opened the Wellness Center. We now can support them emotionally, socially, and psychologically. So we have developed some classes, art therapy, and they don't really know it's therapy. They're just busy having a great time, being a kid, being creative, and relating with other children.
Evelyn really loves her wig. You know, it helps her to go out in public with confidence and make her feel like she's not different from any of the other kids.
Jenna's played competitive soccer for 3 years. She's a goalie. She is often out there doing somersaults, and it has not come off yet. You know, if it weren't for these wigs and this quality of a wig, she would not be able to live the life that she normally does.
When I come here, Maggie always welcomes us and she hugs us. She gives us everything we need for our wigs. It's a great place to be.
We see children every single day. So now show Miss Maggie where the spots are, sweetheart.
Right here's one.
There's over 500 newly diagnosed cases of kids every year with cancer alone in Michigan. And there is no way the insurance companies don't pay for these wigs. And they're expensive because they're so labor intensive, and each wig is custom made for each child. We are solely funded through the kindness and generosity of the community. It's about helping them as they go through this experience to feel and look normal and not be ostracized by other children, to be accepted and embraced.
Who likes vegetables?
We offer nutrition classes because when they're having a health challenge, nutrition is an issue for them. So we try to educate the parents as well as the kids and make it fun.
I've been coming to Wigs for Kids for about almost 3 years. After I got my wig, I was very comfortable with going out in public and with my friends. It just made me feel more confident. I love just the color of my wig and just how it fits. It's beautiful to me.
My name's Madison Parrish and I'm 10 years old. My favorite thing about wearing my wig is that you get to do many designs with it and you can do just whatever you want to do with it. I wish I can come here every day because it's like really a fun experience just to be here.
I felt excited, I felt relieved, I felt hopeful for Madison because she lost her hair to alopecia when she was 3 years old. I just thought that this was the way it was going to be and that there really was no help out there, no resources out there for her. Wigs for Kids has honestly helped Madison's self-esteem so very much. You know, Madison in previous years has gotten teased, some bullying, people are just not educated on what alopecia is. I think that having support for Wigs for Kids is so very important because now, you know, there is information out there and people can come here and get educated on what Wigs for Kids is all about and how much it helps the community. It's just an absolutely fabulous organization and I would want everyone to come see what this is all about and what it does for families and children.
The gala is important to Wigs for Kids because it's our annual event. It's how we raise funds to help continue the mission of Wigs for Kids, which is providing wigs and services for our children. There's no support services out there. There's no place where they can go under one roof and get all the services that they need, starting with the appearance-related side effects of treatment, and then going into the emotional, social, and psychological. So we support them and the families. This is what we offer them here, an opportunity to go out and look like a normal kid and feel like a normal kid and be able to go to school and fit in with their peers.
Welcome back to Symington Says. I'm your host, Dawn Symington. I'm with Top Flight Financial. I specialize in residential mortgages, so if you have a need to purchase a home or refinance, give us a call. My number is 586-254-5711. Today I have Maggie Varney with me in the studio, and we are talking about Wigs for Kids. She's the CEO and founder of Wigs for Kids, and I am delighted to have her here today. I met her about a year ago at Kiwanis, and it was a delightful experience. I got to view the video that you just watched and learn a little bit more about her organization, and I had the pleasure of sponsoring a young girl for her hair, and it's just been a delightful relationship so far. So Maggie, thank you again for being here today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sponsoring our child, one of our children, and for being so engaged and involved with our organization.
Yeah, I was amazed because you had said something earlier before our break about a wig that would cost about $2,500, and I'm amazed that you do these wigs, real hair, authentic hair that you put together yourself, that you fit for these children at a cost of about $800 a piece. Is that right?
Yes, that's because of all the wonderful people that donate their hair. Last year we got about 3,500 hair donations from around the world.
Wow.
Most of the hair, though, does come from the Tri-County area, and of course it's the young kids that come in and donate their hair because their hair doesn't have color on it. So we use that beautiful virgin hair to make these wigs. So because we provide, I do all the measuring and fitting, and we provide the hair itself, and I make the molds and send them to California. They put it together. Each hair is hand sewn in. They're beautifully made. This is just a
can
sample.
we see one?
Yes, this is a sample of one of the wigs. And this one is, I was really excited about this one because this is a brand new prototype. They just came out with it. As you can see, it certainly makes a big difference when they don't have hair. What's nice about this is it has the grip, so it stays in place for the
yes.
kids.
Yes,
it
I
doesn't
see that.
come off. It has the mesh netting, so it's cooler, more comfortable, and it's gentle on their scalp. So it's not itchy and picky like a lot of people think wigs are. You know, I'm from the late 60s when wigs were hot and heavy like a helmet, you know, and today they're so beautiful. And this is all made with natural hair that has been donated by someone in our community. So if you donate your hair, it's going to be walking around in our community, which is nice. It takes about 10 to 12 ponytails to make one wig.
10 to 12? Okay.
And you know, we ask for 10 inches of hair, but we take care if it's 7 inches or more, because we also have boys in our program, as you can see here in our photo album. About 10% of our kids are boys, because really they don't want to be bald either, you know, of course. So, and when I started this program, it really was about focusing on kids with cancer. And although the majority of our children do have cancer, and we work with all 8 hospitals all throughout Michigan that service pediatric oncology, we also work with the Phoenix Burn Society and U of M Hospital for kids who have been severely burned. I have a child right now that I'm seeing who has burned over 50% of her body. And of course, you would think hair wouldn't be important at that point, but obviously it is. It's very important to her because it's a part of our identity. So this really isn't just about a wig. This is about them feeling and looking like themselves. And we provide a lot more services than just wigs for children. At our new wellness center, we have the emotional, social, and psychological support for them as well. So we have a whole team of people that address that, and they're all volunteers. These are all professional volunteers that donate their time and services to serve these families and the children, to help them as they're going through this journey.
And Maggie, what is it called, alopecia? There's another.
Yes, we help children. This gentleman right here has alopecia. That's what he's diagnosed with. And we have children with trichotillomania, which is an obsessive compulsive disorder where they pull their hair out, and children with cancer and blood disorders. So as you can see, this little boy has alopecia, and he's completely bald. The other little boy, it was just, he was partially bald. So it was a little different. And each child, you know, it's as you can see, these are the children that we've serviced so far this year. And there's a lot of different diagnoses that and reasons why they lost hair. And the reason you see a letter here is because when you sponsor a child, as you know, you get it's $800 to sponsor that wig, but you get a before and after picture of the child. So that child writes this letter. They know who sponsored their wig. They give it to us, and we forward it with a certificate of appreciation for adopting one of our kids and sponsoring their wig, and also the before and after pictures. So you know where your funds went. Oftentimes we don't always know, so it's kind of nice to know.
It was very nice. My son and I, he's 10 now, and it was last winter, I think around December, and we sat on the floor together and read the letter and looked at the pictures and talked all about it, and it was a really important moment for us.
Sure, and it really
beautiful.
teaches. You know, when you were a
Beautiful girl.
kid, did you even know really about kids with cancer?
No.
And today,
I didn't know anything about alopecia either. That's what my gal had.
And the new one for me, even being in the industry, was trichotillomania. And that's the obsessive compulsive disorder where they pull their hair out. And there's like 10% of our kids have that. And these children probably suffer socially the most because they suffer in shame. Because like this child right here, unfortunately, she saw her father die in a boating accident, and within 30 days she didn't have a hair in her head. So I mean, this is, if you don't have this disorder, this is genetic, just like alopecia, it's genetic. If you don't have that gene, that wouldn't happen. But if you do, trauma can trigger it.
And the trauma, sometimes the hair grows back, or it never grows back, or does it just depend?
It does.
Sometimes
it can
years
go into
later?
remission. It can go into remission.
Okay.
And this child has trich as well. And and this young girl has cancer. And so these are our real kids right in our community. So one thing about our program is, we only service children of Michigan because I feel that charity starts at home. So that's a good place.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you. Oh, of course. it's a privilege to serve
Wow.
these children and their families.
Wow. How can we support your mission?
Well, we happen to have a gala. We have one annual gala coming up. It's
Okay.
in September, September 19th. It's going to be at the 10 Fish on Jefferson and St. Clair Shores.
Okay.
And it starts at 6 o'clock. And, you know, most fundraisers you go to are for the children, but the children don't always attend. Well, this one is really all about the kids. We have between 800 and 1,000 people that show up, and at least 200 of them are children.
Wow.
And this whole gala is a celebration to their courage and to their life. That's what it's for. So it's all about the kids, and it's a very kid-friendly evening, but it's fun for adults too. And that's just a great venue with on the water. It's a beautiful backdrop, and
you're doing a tea event, right?
that's one of the things that will be going on.
Okay.
In the Sweet Treat area, we'll be having a tea party for the children, for the princesses, tea with the princesses, and we have the Mag Queens. They're called Michigan Amazing Girls. And they're princesses not because of their outer beauty only, but because of their inner beauty and their service to the community. And they embraced our program and sponsored a child, and now they love it. And so now they're coming back to volunteer. So we're going to have tea and scones with the princesses.
Oh, wow.
And they get to keep their teacup. And our dear friend, our mutual friend Linda, has been collecting teacups. So we are still collecting them. If anybody's interested, they can visit our website at Wigs for Kids.
Okay.
And that's with the number 4.org. And they can also email me, Maggie, Maggie, at Wigs for Kids.
Perfect.
If they have any they'd like to contribute.
Okay.
Because we're still collecting them. Because then each child will get to keep their
Okay.
teacup and take it home with them that night.
Well, we just have another minute or so, and we need to end. So we have different ways that they can get involved. They can come to this gala event on
Yes.
September 19th.
Mhm.
I think the cost is $100 a ticket.
It is for adults, $30 for children,
Okay.
11 and under.
Okay, great. Ethan will enjoy that. I'll plan to come to that. They could donate their hair and get in touch with you for making those donations. for
Visit our
hair.
website. All the details are there.
Okay, great. And we'll have that information on the screen. And then they can also donate teacups.
They can.
That would be a
yes,
nice help
to give to a child.
for that event come
Yes.
September.
Yes.
Okay, okay,
They
great.
can come and volunteer too. We're always
Okay.
looking for great volunteers.
What would they do? And you have to make it quick, so we have to end in 30 seconds.
Listen, if they're breathing, I can find a job for them. Okay?
Okay, fair
There's
enough.
always stuff to do every day. We have about 4 to 6 volunteers in daily.
Really?
Well, that's how we're a nonprofit.
Yes, that's
Yes,
so wonderful.
That's how we keep moving
do
forward.
you also have children that come in to help?
We do. We have
Okay.
brownie troops that come in and make cards for our kids in the hospital.
Aw.
We have stuff to do.
Very
There's a lot of
nice.
things to do, and it's a good learning experience for them too.
Okay, great, great.
They take a tour. Stop by and take a tour.
I'd love that.
Yes.
I'll plan to do that. Thank
you don't need an appointment.
Just stop
Anytime,
in,
just
even
stop
on a
in.
Saturday.
We're open 6 days a week.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, that concludes our show this week of Symington Says. Before I leave you, I have a quick in the news story and then a joke of the week. For one, you can see on your screen this photo. I thought this was very interesting. If an egg is broken by an outside force, life ends. If broken by inside force, life begins. Great things always begin from the inside. So to your testament, beauty is from the inside out. So
Absolutely.
wanted to share that with you today with Maggie being here. And then a quick joke of the week. Take my advice. Don't ever buy a cheap toupee. Now I'm losing hair that's not even mine.
That's great.
That's all for today. Take care and stay classy.